Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Win. My name is Tim. I'm joined with my co-host here, Ken.
Hello, everyone. How are you today?
And today we're going to be talking about something a little bit more interesting to me, probably than anyone else, is internet privacy and like the security of your data. Ken, what do you know about like privacy on the internet?
Uh, really, it doesn't exist. The last time it existed was actually when we were in high school, when Apple decided to stand up to the feds. If you'll remember, in that one case, the feds needed Apple to open the phone for them. They said, "No, you guys can go buzz off." It was a great day for us at the time. But beyond that, not really much else.
Yeah,
I'm a
no,
noob.
that was so long. That was actually so long ago. It's hard to believe. But yeah, data security has come a long way since then. Not for the better, but now, the way it works is essentially every website or app you use has these things called cookies. Personally, I prefer the oatmeal raisin ones, but don't at me. And these cookies, they then can sell to other websites and other companies like Amazon or Google. So that way, you can be tracked globally, essentially, for everything you do. And that's why when you click on that weird link that shows like a pair of shoes in the bottom right hand corner, and then you go to Amazon the next day and they're there, like, do you want to buy these? That's what happens essentially. This is a very broad overview, but companies have taken some steps to help curb it in the interest of the people. Air quotes. Apple, actually, being at the forefront of this again for the first time. Recently in iOS 14.5, they added a feature where you can disable cookies from apps and disable app tracking as a whole. So apps would now have to request permission to track you, and then you can say, no, thank you. And that's made them quite a few enemies, actually. Additionally, something they did not so good is they're talking about implementing a way to scan photos that are stored on iPhones in iCloud to scan for child pornography. But while that's an honorable goal of getting rid of child pornography and things like that, the problem is that means they're just scanning your photos for whatever they want, and obviously that's a bad sign. No one wants that. However, Google has managed to take the worst of the best roads in this. Google has said, well, what if we're the only ones tracking you? And then we sell it as we see fit, instead of everyone tracking you. So they've implemented what they call FLOC. It's FLOC. Essentially, it's everything you do is tracked under that, and they don't allow any third party cookies. And then Google can now keep that secret, air quotes, or sell it to whoever they want. But it's much more invasive than other cookies have been, and that's where the current issue is. What are your thoughts?
Wow. uh, wow again would be my second thought. And should we get rid of Google Chrome?
Uh, Probably. I mean, so it depends on what you want. There's some people who actually appreciate cookie tracking. When you think about it, it's like, and there's sometimes where I've seen an ad for something that actually interested me, and like I'll click on it, and then I'll forget about it, and then it'll pop back up like a week later on like something else, and I'll go, "That's what I was looking for." That's really helpful, but that's it's fine for your average everyday user. However, our users are probably a little bit more concerned about privacy than your average everyday person. If you are concerned about tracking and stuff like that, one, you should not be using Google Chrome. Straight up. You should not be using anything where you log in with an account. Because once you have an account, everything's tied to that, and then it's easier to track. What you should be using is something like Firefox, or if you really, really want that data security, the Tor browser, which we could do a whole video on that and how that works, but not today. But things like that will help. VPNs. Some VPNs are very useful. Some VPNs are very not useful. You want to look for one that has a zero data retention policy. You want to look at private, like my personal favorite. We're not sponsored, for the record. We don't get any money off of this. This is my personal recommendation. Private internet access. They're very reasonable rates, and they have a court history to show that they don't keep records of anything that you do. Like anything that they have to keep records for, like what website you're going to when you're trying to load to it, automatically gets deleted as soon as it's not needed. So they have the court history to prove that they're actually very good at what they do. So that's what you want to look for in a VPN is their court history and proof that they actually don't keep your data. So things like that will greatly increase your privacy online.
Yeah, that's great. That's good stuff. I didn't know you could actually find these things out very easily. Thought it was like you'll have to forgive me because I'm a bit of a noob. I kind of, but not really. I always imagine like Hacker Man,
Hmm.
having to get all these secret documents and stuff. But the more I read about it, the more I learn it's easy. It's just Google searching it sometimes.
Yeah, no, all the data's out there, especially in this day and age. It's just you got to look for it sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. I never bothered to do that. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
a lot of people don't because this isn't something that you think when you load up X app on your phone, right? You don't think about how is this app tracking you. You think I loaded up this app for a purpose. If I were to load up, say, the Regal Cinema app, right? Because it's the one that first one I saw when I unlocked my phone. If I'm loading that up, I'm not thinking about how is Regal tracking my data. I'm thinking I want to go see a movie, even though there's no more Regals since I moved. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I
not your
got you. I
first thought.
got you.
It's not bad, but sometimes it's worth looking at. Do I need the Regal app on my phone? And do I really care? Like, do I actually care about what they're tracking? Like, what are they tracking? Let's look at that. You know?
So, do you have any, real quick, I just want to get this one last thing in here. Do you have any browser suggestions for mobile users that perhaps can't use Tor or Firefox for some reason?
I honestly don't. I I'll admit, for as much as I put effort into my security, I still use Google Chrome. There's a level of convenience that I value over privacy, and that is a risk analysis that I think other people will have to make. However, one second here. I do have a list of ones that I've seen before. Um, so depending on if you have iPhone or Android, obviously your choices are limited. But like Opera is a good one. DuckDuckGo is very well known for their privacy. Firefox is very good for that. Um, I think Android phones should be able to download Tor. I don't know if it's available on iOS. Puffin browser, a classic that we remember from back in the day. I think they're very good from what I remember. But these are just a few off the top of my head. None that I use personally, just because, like I said, I like the convenience over anything.
Well, thanks. That's a whole list. I'll have to check a couple of them out sometime. See which ones I like.
And of course, I always recommend doing your own research before you download anything, especially if you're looking for privacy.
All right. Well, you have any other tips for us to stay safe on the web?
No, I think that about does it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. This has been Ken from the Weekly Win, joined, of course, by Tim, and we bid you an excellent rest of your day. God bless.